Okay, so here we have little demon child, aka Spider-Man, also known as Angus. He's a great little dog. He's really quite a character, but he happens to be one of the most handler aggressive dogs I've ever encountered in working professionally with dogs for, I don't know, 8 years, and having been working, in rescue and working with aggressive dogs for over a decade. He's little. He's a Chihuahua Pug mix, but believe me, folks, he is nuts when he goes crazy. And I wanted to kind of highlight his story because I got to just talk about something that's happening right now in the industry, which is just quite frankly kind of crazy. There's so many people saying, "Hey, you got to do this with aggressive dogs. You got to do that with aggressive dogs." Everybody else is doing it wrong. But like some of the most helpful things that I do now with dogs, most trainers don't know about at all. Zero, no clue. And one of those is box feeding. So we built this box out of wood for our little Angus. We made it for him. So what we do with the box is we build up food motivation. This is an idea I heard about on the Canine Paradigm with Pat Stewart and Glenn Cook. You just type in mysteries of the box on Google and you'll see that podcast episode. And when I heard about this, I was at first like curious. And then when I applied it with my own dog that had taken me like I couldn't pet her really, and I had her for 6 years. She was by far the most handler aggressive dog I had met, and still I think she is to this day. Or she was, should say, 'cause she's different now. But when I saw how much it changed her brain, changed the way she felt about my hands, the way she felt about being touched, and the way it led to not management with food, but a dog that just stopped being the way she was. Um, it really became something I became very excited about, but also frustrated about because nobody knows about it, and I just don't get it. So we have the box here, and I'm not going to be doing a perfect demonstration of the box, just to be clear. But what I am going to do is just kind of generally talk about it conceptually and kind of explain what the dog's going through mentally or emotionally from how I see it. I guess my best guess. So you can see he already knows what time it is. He's like, the box is here. Just a moment ago, to be clear, he was in a headspace where he would 100% have just bitten me. And I know people are going to laugh. They're like, bit you. He bit me yesterday. It was not a hard, it wasn't that bad at all. It was a warning bite. He's a warning bite. There's a little mark. I didn't want to put my hand there because he might chomp me, but there's a little warning mark, and like it's sore. Like when I push on it, I'm like, dang, thanks for not breaking the skin more. But yeah, he got me. And when he bit me through the cat handling gloves one time, I mean, that freaking hurt through the gloves. So the idea is, yeah, let me just do it and you watch. We should technically end the session here, but I don't want to make a million videos. So technically, that should be the end of the session. Mom and dad at home, you're going to end the session right there. As soon as he pulls his head out because he's spooked, stop the feeding. So he has to learn. I have to keep my head in there, try to get food, and I have to wait with my head in there without even seeing food because eventually we're dropping that food. At first, I'm dropping the food like this, but eventually I start dropping the food slower. Now, that right there is an important note. You really can't, when the food doesn't drop in the box, this is why you have to have the leash on. You cannot let the dog get that food. He already got it. Um, but I'm kind of using the leash to steer his head back in the right direction and go, hey, man, stay in the game. Don't go into this possessiveness. And you could see a piece went over here, and I grabbed it. So you have a leash on him so that the only way he can get food is in here. Because every time he pulls his head out and you drop the food outside, like kind of the whole thing resets in his brain. Um, so the dog has to commit to having his head in there and not being able to see anything and be in a state of high anticipation for food. kind of in a excitement. Hey, I'm excited. Is the food coming? Is the food coming? Is the food coming? So we'll do one last feeding right here, but hopefully at this point watching this, you're getting the general idea. You get the dog to the point where their head is in that box. There isn't even any food in that box. And you're dropping food in. He's eating the food and he's waiting for more food to come. Now you have the dog in a state of mind they've never experienced before. They've never done that before in their entire life. They've never been sitting there other if they were waiting for a gopher to pop its head out of a hole. Think about if, let me put it this way, and maybe this will help everybody understand. Think about if you had that most craziest dog in the world, and it's got its head in a gopher hole, and it's convinced that it's about to get that gopher. Like it's so convinced it's going to get that gopher. Like it's just like, I'm going to get the gopher, and its head is in that hole. Don't you think you could come up and pull on that dog's tail and it might not care? Don't you think you could touch that dog's leg, touch that dog's feet, and it might be so obsessed with trying to get that gopher? I mean, the gopher is just almost there, but the dog is like fighting to get that gopher. They might not even care. And if you started touching that dog when they're in that state of obsessiveness over the gopher, when you touch them later on, they would associate touch with feeling like, I'm trying to get a gopher right now. It wouldn't be in a state of fear. In that case, they'd be in a state of like either play or like prey, where they're like chasing after something to eat it. So when we do the box feeding, first we get the dog to stick their head in there, and then we start handling them once they're committed to keeping their head in there with no more food present that they can see, dropping the food at a very slow rate. Once we have the dog with their head in there and there's no food and we're dropping the food from the sky and they're keeping their head in there, only then do we begin to desensitize the dog to touch, desensitize the dog to sound, hit the box, turn on the vacuum, pull on the dog. And that's what I did to desensitize my own dog. Um, so we're going to desensitize and we're going to counter condition. We're going to have the dog associate emotionally a different set of feelings with what's occurring, which is us touching the dog. So I'm going to do a couple more feedings, though, technically speaking, all of these sessions you see, right? I think we're on, this would be the third or fourth time. This would have been breakfast, brunch, lunch. I don't know what's in between lunch and dinner, and then dinner, you know, or maybe breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner, evening snack. This would have been spread throughout the day. And every time he pulled his head away, I would have been like, okay, cool, no problem, buddy. We'll try again later. Now we start again. This box technically is a little too small. People who know the box are going to say that. We can make one bigger where he has to get his front legs in. Um, Eventually, you want the dog putting their front legs into that box. And this is a little too small. I'll be honest, I've never used a box with a dog of this size. So wasn't quite sure the size to make it. And he's so sketchy. We weren't able to hold a tape measure up to him. Like, hey, hold still, buddy. That session would have ended technically right there. Just to be clear, that would have been, let's say, dinner. See how he went after that piece. Let's see if he goes back with the leash pressure. I know there's a better, more perfect way to do the box, but I telling you, I try to teach people the box the perfect way, and it's very rare. Even myself, I don't know, do it perfect. And there's a lot of technique that goes into it. There you go. Now his head's in the game. Big reward. Big reward. Stopped him from getting that food. See if he goes back into the box. There's like 7 pieces on the ground. He's kind of like not sure what to do. Let's see if he follows the leash pressure into the box. Good boy. Nah, he's toast. Oh, he's not sure. So already you can just see me like creating a little different association with the food of like, hey man, like, or well, the food and the leash. Hey man, when the leash is on, like you can't bite me, first of all, because I'm holding him so he can't chomp me. And that's me telling him, hey man, you don't have to worry about me moving. Like you don't have to be afraid because I'm not going to touch you and you're not going to bite me. And probably freaks him out when he bites, to be honest. It's not having fun. That would have been like evening snack, and I would have stopped there for him pulling his head out. So I stopped right here. He's just a little guy too, and he's chomping down a lot of food. I might even break his kibble up in half because I mean he just ate like a lot of food. Good boy. Nice. He's in good space. So that's just kind of the essence of how you do the box. I mean, there's no right or wrong way. Don't stress yourself out. It's just something to consider. And you want to look at Pat Stewart, the canine paradigm. As far as I know, that guy's the expert. So you can watch his videos. He has a course, I think, available on his operant. I want to say operant canine. That really gets into the details. I haven't bought the course. I would like to and really learn the perfect way to do the box. But I've been amazed, even just doing this consistently throughout the day and removing the food as soon as the dog pulls their head away. We've seen dogs in 2 or 3 weeks make levels of change we just couldn't even comprehend before. Um, like I said, I mean, this is now my number one go to with all dogs. And Pat Stewart, I quote him because at one point there's a piece of food over here this guy's trying to get. You're not getting that, dude. We're done. We're all done with food. But I want him doing this. I want him obsessed with food. This is what I want: obsession with food. Just complete insane level of food obsession, even when afraid, but a willingness to move forward towards the food and a willingness to work for the food. That's where people will be like, "Oh, my dog really loves food, but he's still scared." I was like, "Well, yeah, but you have to teach him to do stuff for the food, to work for the food, and associate that with the leash, associate that with the trigger, so he knows what else to do." But we are ending the session right now. Actually, going to crate him, put him away after that box session, and that's really it. It's like, come on out. Oh, there's one piece of kibble in his crate. I'm not giving it to him. Nope. He's just looked at me like, "What the heck, man? Come on, uncle." I'm like, "No, you come on, uncle. We want to get this on. We want to move on and just have a much happier time with our life and we want to have hard conversations with you. We just want you to naturally come along on your own. Mom and dad are going to train you, get you and your brother to understand the basics, and then you'll be a good boy. You'll be a good little baby. I mean, not a baby, freaking, but a good dog." So that's all. Um, you can see he's immediately moved back into fear now, but also a little bit of curiosity there. So this is good. In general, it's just because me staring at him freaks him out. And me sitting here after this session, he's like, "What? Look at him though. Good choices. Nice. Yeah, good boy. Good job." I will give him a kibble for that. I will give him one kibble. Good boy. You can't find that kib. Oh no, not a kib. Good boy. Yeah. So that's all, folks. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and hopefully you'll do box feeding or some version of it with your dog. And if you know anybody who doesn't know about it, spread the word. It's amazing. Okay, take care. Talk to you then.